My name is Michael Holdrege. I have been a Waldorf teacher for something like 40 years in adult education as well as teaching primarily in the high school. I've done a little bit in the grade school. And I did my training actually in Germany many years ago and was a teacher in Vienna, Austria for 14 years. And I thought it might be interesting for people to know how I came to this Waldorf education, because as a student, as a young person all the way through grade school and high school, I was not very enthusiastic about school. In fact, the last thing I ever wanted to be was a teacher. To be honest, I thought, oh my God, who would want to do that? It always seemed to be kind of a gray and gray. I wasn't that bad a student, but it did not light my fire in any way. And then I came across, after I'd graduated from college, soon thereafter, the work of Rudolf Steiner, began to read that and study that, and went to school in England, study in England for a year. And you develop these ideas from Rudolf Steiner of the human being and phases of development. And it was very exciting, very interesting. And on the break, the holiday break in December, I went to Paris to visit some friends. And one night I'm walking on the street, for some reason all alone. I don't know if they sent me away or what, all alone. And I'm thinking about what's coming up. I've got 6 more months in England. What am I going to do afterwards? And it occurred to me suddenly, my goodness, if I want to work with these ideas occupationally, the most obvious thing is to become a teacher. And I remember my stomach just went, oh my God, I might become a teacher. That's really what I never wanted to become. So that, of course, I had to digest that a little bit. And the Waldorf ideas, of course, as I moved into them, were totally different. It's a different world. I think most people who walk into a Waldorf school, they experience that immediately. So I decided then to do the Waldorf training and did that, as I said, in Germany, and then went to Vienna. And I must say, began in 1976 then, that all those years in teaching have been so fulfilling, so enriching. This picture you have, you develop, you work on and develop, and you're growing into it, your entire life. You never get there of understanding of the human being, these phases of development from the little guys, as I like to call them, that when I need a break, I teach high school primarily. I run down in the grade school area or in the early childhood and just watch these little guys running around and laughing and screaming. And I of course, I ask the teachers, can't you rein these guys in and quiet them down? But of course, that's absurd. The teachers work with this wonderful, lively, active phase of development and are subtly helping to form that and help these children grow and come more and more to themselves, because our task really in Waldorf education is to help individuals really take a hold of their own life and develop their own individual capacities and find their own way in life. We're in no way trying to push people in directions. And the whole pedagogy built up over many years, these phases of Waldorf education, try to address where the children are at different ages. Because if you go down in these EC kids and you move up then to 5th grade, you've got a different world in front of you. And of course, the way the methods the teachers use, the curriculum, all of that morphs between kindergarten and 5th grade, and then you go up to 10th grade and senior year. Every year there is a transformation, and we're trying to meet the students where they are, as we say, and prepare them to come to themselves, become individuals with sound judgment so that they can go out into the world and find their own way. So working with this over these many years has been, my wife and I, she's also a Waldorf teacher, we have to say to ourselves, we are so fortunate because the work we do is meaningful. It's fulfilling, it's nutrition for us as well. So I've had the good fortune to do this many years, and I've been working here in the teacher training. Actually, I was involved in it when it began here in Chicago. Some 25 years ago, we were connected with a training then in the state of New York at that point, a college training. And I've moved in and out of it, taken some breaks some years where I've had a lot to do, and have been, though, involved in the core group and without a break for the last decade or so. And I must say we've got some wonderful colleagues here. If I look at the grade school teachers, who I hope you'll get to see some videos of too, as well, who teach in this program, they are, I don't like the term master teacher, by the way. I think no one is a master. Education is always, you've got to keep growing and learning, and you never get it quite right, but are masterful, I would say. They have amazing capacities and range and talent, and so we're really fortunate in this program. And the fruits of that we see in our teachers, because I think, I'd have to go through, I didn't think of this ahead of time, I think the entire grade school, all of our so-called class teachers went through this program, this Waldorf Teacher Institute program, and a number of our high school teachers as well, that it really has, I'd say, made the Chicago Waldorf School what it is today. So with that, I'd have to say, if you are thinking at all about becoming an educator or maybe switching gears as an educator, an experienced educator, I think this program, the Waldorf Teacher Institute, is definitely worth looking into. And I think one can also say most of the people, I mean, you can't say everyone, but almost everyone who's gone through this program would speak highly of it. And if they moved into the classroom, they are thankful for the fruits of this program for their teaching. So one of the things that is so enlivening about being a Waldorf teacher is that you aren't in a system where from the top down you are told what to do and how to do it and how much needs to be done in a certain period of time. Of course, we have a curriculum and we have we work with the experiences of many teachers and the ideas that came already from the beginning of Waldorf education, what suits a certain age group. But the teacher works again and again and again with the new material that they have. And we all have figured out pretty soon as Waldorf teachers that if it's going to stay alive, our teaching is going to stay alive, then the material we teach has to become renewed, rebirthing in a certain way. And so this process of learning and learning and learning, there's this, you might call it cliche, but being a lifelong learner, you really need to be a lifelong learner if you're going to be an effective Waldorf teacher, but you want to be a lifelong learner. And that's part of the joy of it, is this continual learning new things or learning old things in new ways, seeing them in a new light. And this wedded together with this experience of the children, who if you're staying with them as a class teacher, who are changing every year, or if you're in the high school and you only stay with them 4 years and you have all 4 classes every year, it's amazing to see when a class of 9th graders you worked with, they come back after the summer, and in many instances, it's like, whoa, is this the same person? I mean, this is one of the most dramatic change points, by the way, in 9th to 10th, but it's just fantastic to experience these, I'll call them evolving human beings, and trying to find ways to meet them. And of course, it's not pie in the sky, and you're not always successful by far. But the process that you're in, this searching to what do they need and what can I bring, and learning, as I say, from day to day. You go into the classroom that morning, you think the class is going to go like this. And you've got a little bit of a lesson plan out there, want to go. But you find out as soon as you begin, class reacts in a different way, maybe with enthusiasm, or somehow it's like, whoa, it's a bit grayer than you had anticipated, your exciting story. And so you've got to morph it and be in the moment. You've got to live what's in front of you, together with what you bring, your enthusiasm that you bring to the class, because you have to bring that. Yeah. And but it's possible if you're learning again and again and again and not repeating the good old stuff. Then it is alive and fun, and you look forward to it. I remember as a kid always, oh my God, about this is August right now. About middle of August, I began to think, oh my God, school's starting soon. It was this kind of depressing feeling. But as a Waldorf teacher, I must say part of it is, oh my gosh, summer was fun, but you're looking forward to getting back in there and meeting the kids and getting into that routine now of learning that, allows you to be a lifelong learner.